Lots of students from all over the world come to Monterey Institute of International Studies to apply for translation and interpretation program. That's where people from different cultures, languages and perspectives start their professional career. Let's meet the students of the second year of studies of Translation and Interpretation Russian program. In less than 7 months, they will meet the world's market of translation and interpretation service. Overwhelming, competitive and challenging environment. Okay guys, it's nice to see you here. And I have a couple of questions for you. The first one, what caused you to want to pursue this sphere of knowledge, translation and interpretation?
Alright, I'll go first. I think I have a sort of unique story because I was raised bilingual. I was born and raised here in the United States, but my parents are originally from Mexico. And even today their English is very limited, so at a very early age I started helping them out with important documents or even at parent-teacher meetings, for example. And in doing so, I realized that I really enjoyed it, and I realized that it was something really useful and something I could put my language skills to use doing. Then, in terms of what happened after that, I started adding more languages and really enjoyed working with Russian. So that's why I applied to this institute in particular.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nelson. Would you please name 3 main constituent qualities of a successful interpreter?
I can name. So I think the first and the most important aspect of being a successful interpreter and translator is hard work, being a hard worker, because it requires a lot of determination, a lot of desire to learn many things in a very short period of time, ability to grasp ideas quickly and easily. It is being, having a really good self-control and to be able to manage your time well. It is also to stay on top of everything, basically, to read the news constantly and always develop your both languages or however many languages you have. Yeah.
To gain confidence, maybe, in everything that you do and everything that you interpret.
Yeah, you definitely have to be perceived as confident, because one thing you should remember is that the more you learn how to be a professional interpreter, and the more skills you acquire, the less confident you become, because you realize how much you don't know.
Yeah, and you need just to persuade those people who you are interpreting for that you are a professional interpreter. This is.
Yeah, definitely have to persuade them.
I wouldn't say that you have to persuade them all the time, because if it is simultaneous interpretation, then you should be actually invisible and nobody should see you or have any idea that you are there interpreting. When it is consecutive, yeah, you should show them who you are, and you are actually should pretend that you are the speaker. Rather.
Yeah, everything should be harmonious and natural.
Well, I think it's, obviously goes along with what's been said, that we need to be very disciplined, because a lot depends on us and how much work we put into preparation, let's say, for a conference. Because, we're learning that now when we're in school, but when we graduate, it's going to be up to us how well we prepare, how knowledgeable we are in a certain field. and our success is going to depend completely on that. And yes, we do have to be jack of all trades, because it's, you know, we have to know a little bit about everything. We need to know how to speak in high register when we were at the conference on international relations, let's say. And we also need to know how to speak to people at a banquet after the conference is done and get to their level. So it's just, you know, you have to be everything.
Mm-hmm. Professional translators and interpreters are used to hard work. Tough training is required and necessary to do the job. How tough is your training at Monterey Institute of International Studies?
Super duper trooper tough. Like the toughest thing I've ever had to do academically in my life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, they definitely keep us busy.
Mm.
You're never bored, I'd say.
Yeah.
And most of the time you're on the verge of a nervous breakdown. But you know that it's really helping you, and you notice how much you've progressed throughout the time that you've been here. Or at least personally, that's how I feel.
guess that's the most rewarding part. It doesn't come very often though. Usually it's like pressure,
Especially in the Russian
tears,
program.
tears, and then you're like, oh, I guess I didn't fail in my exam. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I'm doing better.
Yeah, and then once in a blue moon, your professor will compliment your
Yes.
interpretation,
But
and
the
you'll
biggest
smell.
compliment was like, I guess it wasn't very bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, and it's Russian. Well, хорошо. It means rather well.
You're gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it feels like you have to move mountains. I think when we met with our professor for the first time at the beginning of the first semester, they told us that they're going to equip us with everything necessary that we need to learn about this field, and we're going to, basically, I think one of them said that they're going to push us towards the wall or against the wall, but it's up to us if we're going to move the wall, and that's what they're expecting. And somehow we need to be able to move the walls, or I don't know, move mountains. So sometimes it seems quite impossible, but I believe that each one of us has accomplished a lot, even though sometimes it's hard to see your success when you're in it every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much, guys. I wish you fruitful future and successful career. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor Gillen is specializing in advanced translation from Russian into English. He has been teaching this very group of students for a year and a half. What are your impressions, Professor, about this group?
My impressions of this group? Well, I would say it's a pretty strong group. A wide range of capabilities. Each person has their own set of strengths and weaknesses. And I'd say they're pretty good. I like the work they do. It's doesn't require a great deal of agony on my part to go through. They learn quickly. They don't make the same mistakes over and over again. They tend to fix things right away. Especially Ulya. She grabs things very quickly and gets them down on paper.
Thank you.
Very, very fast. Yeah. She absorbs things like a sponge, right? So. But yeah, I'd say overall it's one of the stronger groups we've had in the program during the 30 years I've been teaching here. That's for sure. So this is why I've invited them to mentor this year's first year group a little bit, to help the first year students get a little extra assistance, because this is an exceptionally strong group.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And how do you think, what are the main issues the translator should focus on in his everyday job?
Getting up early, staying up late. It depends on the type of translation work you do. Obviously, if you're freelance, there's a lot more self-discipline involved, and a lot more effort involved in getting your own clients and doing the marketing, making sure you meet the deadlines, it's more a customer service-oriented type profession. If you're a freelance translator, it's more like keeping the customer happy. If you're in-house or working for the government, it's much like any other job in the sense that you got to keep your boss happy. If you're freelance, you're your own worst boss, right? You have to keep your boss happy, which is you, and that's keeping your customers happy. If you're working in-house, of course, you have to stay on top of the assigned deadlines, and right?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Translation and Interpretation Department spend their study time not only in classrooms with their teachers and professors having feedback from them, but they also organize a lot of hours outside the classroom. It is impossible to complete the master's program on translation and interpretation without their group mates' help, and that
Professor, Chief of the Chair Rosa Kavenoki teaches translation and interpretation at Monterey Institute of International Studies. In addition, she conducts intensive workshops on various T&I issues at government and private institutions in both Russia and the United States.
My question is the following. What professional qualities a modern interpreter should have? To my mind, besides broad knowledge of native and foreign languages, an interpreter should be a dynamic, mobile person. He must be erudite, read much, be familiar with current events, be able to communicate, speak smoothly, and think deeply, not only while rendering translation services, but also in day-by-day communication. Literacy goes beyond mentioning, because it is an implied quality. These are the main qualities. Thank you very much, Professor.
when students of Monterey Institute of International Studies feel stressed out, overwhelmed, and need new ideas how to overcome stress, there are some events at Monterey Institute that help them to keep calm and relaxed.
Puppy Room, where our four-legged friends from the Animal Friends Rescue Project show up and be ready for a cute attack. Relax with a massage. Relax and distress with a massage from a professional massage therapist from the Monterey Institute. Gingerbread house decorating contest. What's more fun than a little competition, especially when it involves eatable building? At lunchtime, decorating fun and friendly competition. Student Council sponsored coffee in the library. Coffee, tea and hot chocolate will be available, so keep calm and study on.